My name's Chris, I'm 17, and I'm exploring the call.
My name is Bethany, I'm 16, and I'm exploring the call.
My name is Gino, I'm 16, and I'm exploring the call.
My name is Crystal, I'm 15, and I'm exploring the call.
My name is Richard, I'm 17, and I'm exploring the call.
My name is Lindsay, I'm 15, and I'm exploring the call.
My name is Keenan, I'm 18, and I'm exploring the call.
My name is Casey, I'm 17, and I'm exploring the call.
My name's Brian, I'm 17, and I'm exploring the call.
Welcome to Explore the Call, a podcast dedicated to helping teenagers explore the possibilities of serving God in full-time ministry.
Each session will give you practical tools to begin discovering God's will for your own life. So sit back, listen, and gear up for the journey.
Welcome back to Explore the Call. This is Pastor Gene, and I want to talk to you about something you need to avoid: running from God's call. The call of God is one of the most exciting and fulfilling ways to spend your life. Unfortunately, some people are reluctant to obey or answer God's call. Maybe you're struggling with the call of God right now. You may be one of those people who are more regretful than excited about the possibilities of serving God in ministry. Well, if you are, hear me out. Why not? You've got nothing to lose, right? If you aren't running from the call of God, I still want you to listen to this podcast. It'll give you a greater appreciation for what God is doing in your life. Wherever you may be, the important thing is understanding why you may be tempted to run from God's call. There might be several reasons. Let's talk about them. The most common reason people run from God's call is a feeling of unworthiness. There may be several things that contribute to these feelings. As the American population grows more and more unchurched, it is common for teenagers to have a totally unchurched background. Some of them have no experiences or prior understanding to even know what a minister does, or why for that matter. Others have such a high esteem for ministers and such a keen sense of their own limitations, they may feel inadequate or unable to live up to the standard. If you're experiencing these feelings, you're not alone. It's normal to feel unqualified or unworthy of God's call. When God called Jeremiah, he thought he was too young. Sarah thought she was too old. Jonah said he didn't want to do what God was asking. Moses said he wasn't a good enough communicator. Ezekiel said he was overwhelmed. Isaiah said he was unworthy. Amos said he wasn't qualified, and I can go on and talk about Paul, Peter, and even Mary, the mother of Jesus, who all felt the same way. The important thing to remember is that God would not call you if he didn't think you could overcome any of your perceived obstacles. Some people run from God's call because they think they don't know the Bible well enough. Although some people have prior experience that may give them a better knowledge of the Bible, others have no familiarity whatsoever. Many have come to Christ with no Bible knowledge at all. You may be running from God's call because of a fear of what you don't know about the Bible. Well, the good news is that ministry is like any other vocation. It requires formal training. After that training, you will have the knowledge, confidence, and experience you need to follow God's call for your life. A third reason people run from the call of God is because they lack guidance. A call of God is a lot like an infant. In the child's early stages, it must be nurtured and fed. Well, the call of God is the same way. There are many examples of this kind of call mentoring in the Bible. Elisha was mentored in his call by the prophet Elijah. Samuel was willing to receive instruction from Eli about his call. The Apostle Paul and John Mark were mentored by Barnabas. Apollos received advice from Priscilla and Aquila. Timothy and Titus were advised by the Apostle Paul in their call. The good news is that it is never too late to nurture the call of God within you. You can connect with an experienced minister who can give you advice along your journey. You can read books or even continue listening to this podcast. God will provide the mentoring you need if you'll trust him with your future. The fourth reason people run from the call of God is a fear of the unknown. God rarely gives us a blueprint of our life all at once. His purpose is revealed in bite-sized portions as we take the time to discover it for ourselves. Some people forget that the call of God is a lot like salvation in that it requires faith and trust. They mistakenly think that God delights in crossing our will, dragging us somewhere we don't want to go, or even making us unhappy. Well, nothing can be further from the truth. In Genesis chapter 12, verse 1, the Bible tells us that God called Abraham to follow him to a place he had never seen. But you know, the unknown is not a bad thing when God is leading you through it. God was faithful to Abraham, and he'll be faithful to you. Perceived financial limitations is a fifth reason people run from the call of God. The fear of not having the financial resources for Bible college, not being able to provide for a family, or being deprived of the comfortable things of life may keep one from exploring the call of God. Well, all of us have a desire for financial security and want to provide for our families. That's normal. But I remember one middle-aged man who met with me and poured out years of regret and remorse for running from God's call because of this fear. I have never been good at trusting God to provide for my needs, he said. It was a sad moment, because after being in the ministry for over 20 years, God has always met my needs, and I knew that he would do the same for this man if he only trusted him. Well, you don't have to live with the same kind of regret years from now when there's little that you can do about it. You can trust God to meet your financial needs. The Bible reassures us of this in Philippians chapter 4, verse 19, when it says, "And my God will meet all of your needs according to his glorious riches in Christ Jesus." The important thing is to remember what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. "Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." The sixth reason people run from the call of God is to avoid past experiences. Now, sometimes these people have had negative or painful experiences in church or in ministry that they just don't want to repeat. They may have found high school very difficult, and the thought of continuing on to Bible college is just totally undesirable. They might have experienced hurt or disappointment from someone in ministry, or they want a different lifestyle than ministry can provide. If you're listening to this podcast and you're running from God, I want to encourage you to reconsider. Be willing to follow the Lord even if you don't understand fully what that commitment means or where it may be taking you. Leave the results to God. You can trust God with your life. I've got a feeling He can handle it. In our next podcast, I want to talk about some important spiritual disciplines that can help you discern God's call upon your life. This is Pastor Gene, encouraging you to re-engage in the journey and continue exploring the call.
Thanks for listening. In addition to this podcast, you can interact with other students, check out cool resources, and even connect with an online mentor at www.explorethecall.com.
Explore the Call is a free resource provided by Zion Bible College. Zion's sole purpose is to teach, train, and release students for spirit-filled ministry. If you would like more information on how Zion Bible College can help you on your journey of exploration, check out their website at zbc.edu.